You know those moments when the internet collectively gasps? Well, that happened about 48 hours ago when footage of Sir Carter started making rounds on social media. And let me tell you, Beyonce's team went into overdrive faster than you can say formation. Here's what went down. Someone posted a video on TikTok around 11:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday night. Within 3 hours, it had over 2 million views before getting yanked down. But by then, screenshots were everywhere. Reddit threads were popping off, Twitter was having a field day. And the Bayhive, they were split right down the middle. Sir Carter has been the phantom child of the Carter family for years now. Born June 13th, 2017, alongside his twin sister Rumi, he's barely been photographed since he was a toddler. We're talking about maybe 5 clear photos in 7 years. Meanwhile, Blue Ivy is literally performing at the Super Bowl, and Rumi's been spotted at multiple events with her parents. So when this video surfaced, people had questions. Lots of them. The footage itself is grainy, shot from what looks like someone's phone at a private event. You can hear kids laughing in the background, some adults chatting, typical party sounds. But the focus is on a young boy who multiple sources claim is Sir, and the way he's moving, the way he's interacting with his environment, it got people talking. Not in a cruel way, at least not at first, but in that concerned way. Parents recognize something familiar. One mom on TikTok, before her comment got deleted, wrote, "My son moves exactly like that. Took us 3 years to get his diagnosis." Another person said they recognized the hand movements immediately. "That's stimming," they wrote. "My nephew does the same thing when he's excited." Now, before we go any further, let's be absolutely clear about something. There's nothing wrong with being neurodivergent. Nothing. If Sir is on the autism spectrum, which is what many people are speculating, that doesn't make him any less amazing or any less loved. The real issue here is privacy. A 7-year-old kid's medical information, if that's what this reveals, should never be public fodder. But the internet doesn't always see it that way. Within hours, the conversation shifted from concern to conspiracy. People started claiming Jay-Z and Beyonce were hiding Sir because they were ashamed. That narrative is not only false, but deeply harmful. Every parent has the right to protect their child's privacy, especially when that child can't consent to being in the public eye. Here's where things get interesting, though. According to a source who spoke to Media Takeout, and obviously take this with a grain of salt, the leak didn't come from some random party guest. The speculation is that someone on Beyonce's extended team, someone with access to private family events, deliberately shared this footage. Why would they do that? Your guess is as good as mine. Money? Revenge? A misguided attempt at transparency? Nobody knows for sure. What we do know is Beyonce's response was swift and decisive. Her legal team sent cease and desist letters to every major platform hosting the video. They threatened legal action against anyone continuing to share it. And most surprisingly, Beyonce herself broke her usual social media silence. She posted a single photo on Instagram, a beautiful black and white shot of her holding hands with all 3 of her kids, their faces turned away from the camera. The caption, just a blue heart emoji. The comments were turned off. Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, was less subtle. She went on her own Instagram and posted a lengthy message about the cruelty of judging children and invading their privacy. Every child deserves to grow at their own pace in their own way, surrounded by love and not scrutiny, she wrote. She didn't mention Sir specifically, but everyone knew what she was talking about. The Bayhive mobilized in a way I haven't seen since the elevator incident. They mass-reported accounts sharing the video. They flooded social media with old photos of the twins as babies, trying to drown out the leaked footage. Some fans even started sharing their own stories about growing up neurodivergent, turning the conversation into something more positive and educational. But not everyone was supportive. The dark corners of the internet, as they always do, turned this into something ugly. Conspiracy theorists claimed this was proof of everything, from Illuminati rituals to genetic experiments. One particularly nasty rumor suggested Sir's condition was caused by something Jay-Z did. These theories are not only baseless, but actively harmful to every neurodivergent person and their families. Dr. Patricia Williams, a child psychologist who specializes in autism spectrum disorders, went viral with her response to the situation. Speaking to her 400,000 TikTok followers, she said, "What I'm seeing in these discussions is a fundamental misunderstanding of neurodiversity. If this child is on the spectrum, and I'm not saying he is, but if he is, he's not broken. He doesn't need to be hidden or fixed. He needs understanding, support, and most importantly, privacy to be a kid. The timing of this leak is particularly suspicious. It happened just 2 weeks after Beyonce announced her next world tour, and 3 days before Jay-Z was set to receive a major humanitarian award. Some people think this was deliberately timed to cause maximum disruption. Others believe it was just unfortunate timing. What's really interesting is how other celebrities have responded. Cardi B, never one to hold back, tweeted, "Y'all really out here discussing a 7-year-old child like he's a commodity that's somebody's baby. Have some respect." Holly Robinson Pete, whose son is on the autism spectrum, shared a beautiful thread about the importance of protecting neurodivergent children from public scrutiny. Even some surprising voices chimed in. Azealia Banks, who's had her share of feuds with Beyonce, posted, "This is disgusting. Leave that baby alone. Some things are off limits." When Azealia Banks is the voice of reason, you know things have gone too far. The conversation also brought up memories of other celebrity children who've been similarly scrutinized. Remember when people were obsessing over Shiloh Jolie Pitt's clothing choices, or when Blue Ivy's hair became a national debate? We have this weird relationship with celebrity kids where we feel entitled to know everything about them, forgetting they're actual human beings who didn't choose to be born famous. Legal experts say Beyonce has a strong case if she decides to pursue legal action. There's a reasonable expectation of privacy at a private event, explained attorney Marcus Thompson on Legal Eagle's YouTube channel. If this was filmed without consent and shared maliciously, we're looking at potential invasion of privacy charges, possibly even harassment of a minor. But here's the thing that really gets me. We're living in 2024 and we're still treating neurodiversity like it's something shameful. If Sir is autistic, so what? Albert Einstein was likely autistic. So was Andy Warhol, Temple Grandin, Dan Aykroyd, Anthony Hopkins. The list goes on. Being neurodivergent doesn't make you less than. It makes you different. And different isn't bad. The real scandal here isn't whether Sir Carter is neurodivergent. The scandal is that someone thought it was appropriate to violate a child's privacy. The scandal is that people immediately jumped to the worst conclusions about his parents. The scandal is that in 2024, we're still treating autism like it's something to hide. I reached out to several autism advocacy organizations for comment, and the response was unanimous. Every family has the right to disclose or not disclose their child's diagnosis on their own terms, said Maria Rodriguez from the Autism Self-Advocacy Network. This situation is a violation of that right and potentially harmful to the child. The financial implications of this leak are also worth considering. Beyonce's brand is built on control, precision, and carefully curated reveals. This leak disrupts all of that. Some marketing experts estimate this could impact her upcoming tour sales. Though honestly, the Bayhive is so loyal that seems unlikely. If anything, they'll probably rally harder around her. There's also the question of how this affects Sir himself. He's 7 years old enough to potentially hear about or even see some of this coverage. Imagine being a kid and suddenly the whole world is talking about you, analyzing your every movement, making judgments about who you are based on a few seconds of footage. That's got to be incredibly difficult. Several child development experts have warned about the potential psychological impact. Children at this age are developing their sense of self, explained Dr. Jennifer Martinez, a pediatric psychiatrist at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Having their privacy violated in such a public way can have lasting effects on their self-esteem and trust in others. The story took another turn yesterday when a second video allegedly surfaced, though this one was debunked almost immediately as being from a completely different event with a different child. But the damage was done. The rumor mill was churning, and every piece of content, even vaguely related to the Carters, was being scrutinized. Meanwhile, Beyonce and Jay-Z have maintained their silence beyond that single Instagram post. They were photographed leaving their New York home yesterday, both wearing sunglasses, saying nothing to the photographers. Their silence speaks volumes. They're not going to dignify this invasion with a response, and honestly, good for them. What's particularly frustrating is that this whole situation could have been an opportunity for a meaningful conversation about neurodiversity, privacy, and how we treat celebrity children. Instead, it devolved into conspiracy theories and cruel speculation. We had a chance to do better, and we blew it. Some fans have started a hashtag #Protect Sir Carter, sharing resources about autism acceptance and children's privacy rights. It's gained over 1 million uses in just 2 days. At least something positive is coming from this mess. The question now is what happens next? Will Beyonce's legal team follow through with lawsuits? Will we ever get an official statement? Will this change how the Carters handle public appearances going forward? Only time will tell. But one thing's for certain, this incident has exposed something ugly about our celebrity-obsessed culture. We claim to love these artists, to support them, but the second we get a glimpse behind the curtain, especially when it involves their children, we turn into vultures. We pick apart every detail, create narratives that don't exist, and forget that there are real people, real children. At the center of these stories, Sir Carter deserves better. Every child deserves better, whether he's neurotypical or neurodivergent, whether he's shy or just private, whether his parents are protecting him or simply respecting his autonomy. None of that is really our business. He's a 7-year-old kid who didn't ask for any of this. The most recent development came just this morning. A major tabloid claimed to have additional footage, but before they could publish, Beyonce's team apparently reached a settlement. The exact terms weren't disclosed, but sources say it was substantial. The message is clear: mess with their children, and there will be consequences. Look, at the end of the day, we all need to take a step back and ask ourselves why we care so much about seeing this child. What void in our own lives are we trying to fill by invading his? Because that's what this is, an invasion. No matter how you try to justify it, we're talking about a child who cannot consent to this level of scrutiny. So here's my question for you. Where do you think the line should be when it comes to celebrity children? Should they be completely off limits until they're adults? Or is some level of public interest inevitable when your parents are two of the most famous people on the planet? Let me know in the comments, but please keep it respectful. We're talking about a real kid here. And if you found this video informative, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We'll keep covering this story as it develops, but always with respect for everyone involved, especially Sir. Until next time, remember that behind every headline is a human being deserving of dignity and privacy. Peace out.